Hi, Shae Russell here, editor of the Daily Reckoning Australia, and I'd like to introduce to you Callum Newman, who is here to talk about a silent commodities boom taking over the markets, and Australia is poised well to benefit. Hey Callum, how are you?
Very good, Shae.
Thank you for joining me. Now, we were talking about this about half an hour ago, about how there's this commodity boom coming and Australia is poised to do well from it. Can you explain a little bit more about what that means?
I would say that Australia's already doing well from it. This idea of a silent commodity boom in Australia is really interesting because it really is unique to Australia. Part of it is the Aussie dollar coming down, so miners here are getting really good margins for what they're doing. But there were stats released just this week that said the Aussie mining sector just had its best operating quarter ever, and that includes the mining boom of last decade that we all know about. And we're starting to see big investments go. Fortescue Metals is going to do a new iron ore mine in Western Australia. Woodside is seeing really positive developments in the oil and gas sector, and they're investing. I was just at a resource conference last week. There's a lot of gold drilling going on in Western Australia, and lithium, cobalt, you've heard the stories about battery minerals. There's a lot of investment going towards that as well.
Now, something you mentioned today in the Daily Reckoning Australia is that you believe that there's some big changes coming ahead for the Aussie gas industry. So how does gas and, how are we likely to do well from that?
Well, gas is big, very big news for Australia through LNG, which is becoming a major export earner for Australia. It's on track to be our second biggest export behind iron ore. It'll overtake coal if it hasn't already. But if you go back to last year, there was a forecast being put out that said there'd be an LNG glut across the world, and that's not happening. In fact, LNG prices are very strong, and there's a huge demand coming from China as they they want to clean up their air quality, so they're using less coal, more gas. Japan, South Korea, traditionally very strong markets, and now India as well is coming in. So there's huge demand for gas, and Australia has a big role there.
Fantastic opportunities for investors, I believe.
Well, it's going to. The big stocks like Woodside obviously benefit, but again, part of what I'm talking about here is the big companies like BHP, Woodside, Rio Tinto are making a lot of money right now, and they're going to start investing in smaller projects, doing joint ventures with explorers, developers, to bring more supply online.
So could there be the opportunity that, say, these big companies are going to buy up, small cap ASX listed miners? So are we looking at basically tiny little companies being gobbled up by the big guys for top dollar?
Well, I think the big guys have a part to play. I think it'd actually be mid-tier producers that buy up the smaller ones. The problem with the really big stocks is they need to buy really big operations. We were talking about Newcrest this morning, which somebody said they might get bought out. That's a $16 billion company. But definitely there's huge scope there for small miners to get gobbled up from mid-tier operators. Say, for example, Newcrest Mining itself could gobble up smaller gold miners. I'm trying to think of the copper stock. What is it? Samphire, which I saw present last week. Samphire has made it known that it's out on the hunt for acquisitions, and a lot of the companies like this are saying we're looking for projects.
So there could be some big mergers and acquisitions happening this year and next.
We've already seen a few, and I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger.